Missouri.
All the information went down below. It's a big old analog mechanical computer. 29 years later, modernized Battleship Missouri, two gun directors, two reconnaissance aircraft. The big guns, not fired in the position you see them today. Fired broadside off starboard or port side of the ship. So rotate the turret as necessary. You fire 9 guns, 54 bags of powder go off. Air moves and water moves, so if you fire it off the starboard side, there'd be a big wave out there. The problem isn't the air going out, the problem's when the air comes back. The concussion is so strong and severe, crew could be thrown overboard. So they sounded an alarm, clear the decks before they fired these big guns. Decks are wood, they're teak wood. There's 53,000 square feet of teak on Battleship Missouri. Main reason, static electricity. Loading these canisters onto the ship, for example. We're on the surrender deck where World War II ended. September 2nd, 1945, Tokyo Bay. Japanese delegation that you see in the photo. Boarded Battleship Missouri on the quarter deck near turret number 1. Proceeded up the ladder by turret 2. Stood here where we're standing, facing the Allies across the deck. The Americans in formation along turret 2. We're facing the starboard side of the ship. At the time, General Douglas MacArthur was up in Admiral Halsey's stateroom. When things were ready, MacArthur came down the far ladder. He approached the microphone that you see in the photo, began the ceremony with a 2-minute introductory speech, stressing peace, tolerance, and the rebuilding of Japan. He invited the Japanese to come forward to sign. First is number 22, Foreign Minister Shigemitsu. Shigemitsu represented the government of Japan, represented the Emperor. Signed the document at 9:04 a.m., September 2nd, 1945. And signing second, surrendering the military, number 24, General Umezu. 2 signatures, surrender of Japan to the Allied forces. MacArthur signed as Supreme Allied Commander. He used 6 souvenir pens that morning. First souvenir pen went to General Wainwright, number 2. Now Wainwright was an American general. He surrendered Corregidor. He was taken prisoner of war for over 3 years. Second pen to Sir Percival, number 3. British general surrendered Singapore, suffered the same fate. Highest ranking prisoners of war, Pacific Theater, World War II. Represented all prisoners of war. Called upon to sign for the United States as Admiral Nimitz, followed in turn by 8 Allied nation delegates. The ceremony to end World War II took 23 minutes. But World War II took the lives of 69 million worldwide. 50 million were civilians. MacArthur closed the ceremony with a prayer. Japanese delegation escorted off the ship. But as they departed, signals given, commenced the flyover. We flew Allied aircraft from 1400 over Tokyo Bay. But this is where the war ended, right here on this deck, September 2nd, 1945, in Tokyo Bay. The table that you see in the photo, it stood right there where that plaque of the deck is today. And in the case across the deck are copies of the documents and photos of those who signed. We're going to pause for a few minutes. I invite you please look around, take any photos, ask any questions. When we gather up, we're going to hit that one. Okay. Thank you. Hey, look here. Wind 13th century typhoon twice prevented Mongolian invasions of Japan. The Japanese took it as a omen the gods were with them, they were invincible. In 1945, the Allies were closer and closer to Kamikaze again. April 11, 1945, one lone Kamikaze crashed into the starboard side of the ship. Just back there, frame 165. The left wing breaks off and sinks to the sea along with the bomb. The fuselage in the right wing crashed forward at the starboard side. Fuel in the wing burst into flames. Japanese see the fire. Must have thought they sank Battleship Missouri. The battle raged on, and to clean up and mop up, they found the remains of the Kamikaze plane. They were bagged, saved overnight, buried at sea the following day. But by order of Captain Callahan, commanding officer, buried at sea with military honor. Callahan believed the Kamikaze pilot to be a true warrior. He gave his life for his country. Died for a cause he was committed to and was an example to the crew of Battleship. Look at all these footballs. Grouping along the rail. This was a burial detail. Pardon me, and the chaplain stood. Remains committed to the date April 12, 1945. These footprints represent the space where the burial, the Marine Honor Guard stood for the rifle salute. Those solitary footprints belong to the Bugle, where he stood when he put taps. So buried at sea April 12th with military honor. We have photos of both dates. Photos are taken by the ship's photographer. His name was Buster Campbell. And Buster Campbell's a crew member. The guy, when you call it the general quarters, grabs a camera. You have a camera like you have. Or most of us have. The kind you can actually make a phone call with, or make a dinner reservation, check your bank account, whatever. In the 40s, you had these big, heavy, bulky pieces of equipment, and he lugged it up to the bridge and took the pictures we're going to see. So follow me.
Buddy, why are you so naughty?
First photo, the upper left-hand corner. You actually see the Kamikaze plane about to crash into the starboard side of the ship. That wing would break off and sink to the sea along with the bomb. But if you look down to the lower photo, you see a big fireball. And that fireball came from the fuel on the right wing. Inside of that fireball is Battleship Missouri. The smaller photo to the right, okay, Okay. Is our damage control team clean up and mop up April the 11th, 1945.
But I don't.
Following day was the burial. Right this way, April 12th.
Pari, why don't you listen, Pari? Don't be naughty, okay? Listen, okay? Don't climb down.
Burial detail on the chest. In the center of the photo, you see the remains of the Kamikaze pilot. They're draped with a homemade rising sun flag. We used a homemade flag because, well, we didn't have a rising sun flag. To bury him with military honor, the crew made one from signal flags off Battleship Missouri. Lower photos, you see the Marine Honor Guard stood behind us, and the bugler off to the right. Top right photo is the Kamikaze pilot and his family. The little boy holding a toy plane, maybe 3 years old, is the Kamikaze pilot as a child. He grows up to be the 19-year-old in the opposite photo. Buried at sea, April 12th, 1945. Any questions about the Kamikaze? Any questions? Okay. Just take a look at this long gray box up here, please. We call it an armored box one. I want to tell you all about it. We're going to do it back here. We'll see everything else. You see that long gray box? There's actually two of them up there. There's two on the port side as well. And if you look kind of forward, you'll see part of a box midship. Actually, there's two of them there on the starboard side. There'll also be two more over on the port side. So there's 8 of them all together on Battleship Missouri, armored box launchers. Each box held 4 Tomahawk missiles. That's 32 Tomahawks. And from those boxes, we launched 28 during Operation Desert Storm. There's another phalanx weapon system up there, and those tubular launchers are the launchers for the Harpoon ship-to-ship weapon system. We're looking at the modern weapons of Desert Storm. Did not exist in World War II. In World War II, up there back then, a lot of guys and a lot of guns. They're all gone. At the impact site, 2 single-mounted 20s. And they stayed, they fought. Today the guns are gone. Where the basketball is today, a quad 40, one of 20, gone. Well, we found it, brought it back, had it restored, it's on the pier. But there were 20 of those on this ship. We're standing around Turret 3, a ring of single-mounted 20s. Folks, this ship was loaded with guns. World War II, Korea. Desert Storm, all gone. Replaced with these new ones.